Good morning everyone, it's Anne from the Cotton Chick here. Welcome to our video tutorial for our giant princess cupcakes. I've had a lot of requests for this video tutorial, so I finally decided I'd better get my act into gear and get this together. So I've just got my yarn and what I need for this tutorial. So obviously I've got my polyfill, so I'm just going to pop that aside. I've got my burner because that's my preferred method of joining yarn. Need a pair of scissors. You need a tape measure. My yarn, I've decided to use chocolate for the base, and I'm going to use the variegated honeycomb for the top. I've had some requests to use variegated for the icing, so we'll see what that looks like. So I have already whisked and fluffed my yarn, so I'm all ready to go. Now, the first thing we need to do, we're going to leave a 20-inch tail before we start our cast on. So that was about 20 inches there. So we're just going to do our slip knot. So holding the tail end with my left hand, the working yarn with my right hand, I'm going to cross over and form a loop. Hold that with my left fingers, yarn from behind, pull through another loop, pull with your tail and tighten. Okay, there's my first stitch. So we're going to keep to about 2 finger widths for the whole of your cupcake. Okay, so if you stick to that sort of consistency, you should be okay. So we need to cast on 10. So there is number 1. So with my left fingers, I'm just getting ready to grab my yarn from behind to pull through another stitch. And that's 2, okay? Getting ready with my left fingers, pull the yarn from behind, and that is number 3. You want to try and grab your yarn as close as you can to the back of the previous stitch so that you don't leave any gaps. If you were to just sort of grab your yarn here and pull it through, you have all this slack yarn and you will have holes in your work. So that's number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Last one pulling through. Number 10, just go back and count your top bumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we're going to form a circle. So all you do with your tail, just get your chain and form that into a nice circle. Okay, and then with your tail, you're going to poke that through that 10th stitch. Pull it through just till you get to where you've cast on. And stop there, okay? So now we're going to work in the round, okay? And we're going to go anti-clockwise. We're going to do 8 rows. There's 2 different ways you can do this. For me, I know how quickly this knits up, so I count 80. I'm going to go 1 to 80. You can do 1 to 10, put a marker in. Second row, put a marker in. Third row, put a marker in. Trust me, 1 to 80, these knit up so quickly, but I'll leave that up to you. Now, for our first stitch, we're actually not going to pull through where we pulled through that tail, okay, on that stitch. We're actually just going to move to the second stitch, okay? So don't go through where you've pulled the tail. Just go to the stitch after that. Look for the top bump, come from behind, pull stitch through. Next one, look for the top bump. 2. Look for that top bump. 3. Same deal applies with all of your knitting. You go as close as you can to the back of the previous stitch. Go from behind, pull through another stitch. That's 4. Find the top bump. 5. 6, just be mindful that your work will curl a little bit, so just pop it back. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. find the top bump, 8, find the top bump, 9, then we go over to number 10, which is where that working yarn went through. First row done. We're going to keep the working yarn down and away from you, okay? I've just got a bit of fluff there, get that off. Okay, so that's number 10. Okay, so let's go again. So for me, it's 11, 12, 13, close as you can to the back of the previous stitch, come from behind, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. Pull that tail out the way. Let's do another one. Okay. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now, just bring that tail in front of you for a second. So you can see the tail lines up with the 10th stitch. So if you get a little bit confused or you think you've lost count, use your tail as your guide. So that tail, just follow the stitches along and you go, that's where my 10th stitch is. So if you were down here and your tail was here, you'd go, oh, okay, I do definitely need to go one more. Okay, so that can help you as well. So I'm going to do one more row with you and then I'm going to leave you to continue counting on to your 80. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you've already done 40. You're already halfway there. So rather than me keep counting with you, I'm just going to leave you to do your last 4 rows and we'll come back and I'll meet you soon. Okay. Okay, welcome back. So I'm sure you can see that didn't take very long at all. So what we're going to do now, we've done our cast on, then we've done another 8 rows. If you like, and if you have enough yarn, you can do another row, or if you think you want your base a little bit shorter, you can do 7 rows. But that's sort of the height that I do mine. So we're going to change colours now. So we need to leave, just say 1/2 inch, cut off our brown. We'll pop that out the way. I've just put my towel down so I don't destroy my beautiful dining room table. I'm just going to cut a nice straight edge off the honeycomb. And you're feeling for that little filament in the middle, which is what we're going to set alight and join to our brown, okay? So let's set our honeycomb alight. Then we're going to smush that into our brown. Don't put your fingers on it too soon because you will burn your tips. I say, if you use the burn method, your fingertips will never be the same. Okay, that's a pretty nice join. I give that a little bit of a roll. I'm happy with that. That looks good. If you could see if it wasn't a nice join, and you know what? You just cut it and do it again. So we're actually going to, let's pop my burner out the way. We're going to increase 5 stitches. So what we're going to do, we're going to knit 2, increase, knit 2, increase. We're going to do that to the end and we'll end up with 15 stitches. So same as before, just going to bring up 1 stitch, 2 stitch. Okay, And the way we increase is before the third stitch. So between those two stitches, just pop your finger underneath that loop in the middle. And that's where you bring up your stitch. That's how easy it is. Just bring it up to the height of where your other stitches are at. So that's our first increase. 1, 2. That piece of fluff's just haunting me. Go to the middle there. That's our other stitch. 1, 2. Go in between. Just pop your finger underneath. Pull through another stitch. That's how easy it is. 1, 2. Increase again. 1, 2, and one final increase. You will now have 15 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Now, we're actually going to change to purl stitch. So this is what we call knit stitch when we come from behind. Purl stitch, two different ways to do it. I'm going to show you what I think is the easier way. So if you were to change from purl stitch, you would need to start going through the front of your loop. And I find that awkward. So the easiest way to do that is if you just flip your work around, okay, just follow me, flip your work around. Now, sorry, I've got two little kittens and they're playing behind me and I'm just wary that they're going to jump on the table and attack my yarn. Anyway, we'll keep going. Okay, so turn your work over, find where that yarn is for that last stitch, and then you're just going to keep working in the same direction. You think you're going to be knitting, trust me, it will work. So let's go. So now we've got 15 stitches. We only have to do 4 rows for the top. So like I said, 15 marker, or let's just count to 60. So bring our work from behind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's do one more row, then you'll be able to really see the difference. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now, if you have a look in front of you, you can see that's your knit stitch there, but this is the outside. Can you see that? So now you're doing the purl stitch and that's what the icing is, okay? So that's how easy it is. I just find it easier to still work from behind. When you're trying to bring your yarn through from the front, I find that a little bit awkward, and it is a lot easier to actually slip your stitches. So that's why I just turn it around and then I can just keep working from behind. Same principle applies. You go to the closest you can to the back of the previous stitch. Keep going. So we've got another 30 to go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a little bit of fluff, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so this is going to be your cupcake once it's stuffed. Believe it or not. So we're actually going to close the bottom first. So this is why we've left our 20 each tail. So how we close the bottom, we work from the outside in a clockwise direction, okay? So all I'm going to do is take my yarn, and I'm not super precise about this. We're going to work from the outside in, okay? And just close up our bottom as best we can. So that's, just work around 3. I'm trying to just find, obviously, those first 10 stitches, which you should be able to feel next to each other, where you just don't pull too tight. You're just finding that top loop. It doesn't draw in. That's why I leave like a long tail, because we just sort of have to keep working it around to close the bottom. Okay, so just work it around. Little pull, but not too much. Just keep working until you can, so that hole's getting smaller, as you can see. So I'm just going to keep working around until I'm happy with that. I need to do a few more. I'm not necessarily looking for the loop next to every single one that I'm doing. Like, I've gone over a little bit here. I'm just going to try and find something where I can pop my yarn through. That looks pretty good, actually. Might just try and find one more. Just anywhere you can get your yarn through, okay? Now, what I might do, I might just do a little knot in the end, right at the end of the yarn. Okay. Now I'm going to do a knot up the top here. You know what? You just pop that tail, you've got a little hole, just pop it through. There you go, closed up your bottom, okay? And just leave that yarn in there. So now with our polyfill, we're going to, so you've got more than enough polyfill in those little bags. You should have some left over, because you don't want to overstuff. You don't want to see the polyfill once you've stuffed your cupcake. I just work it around in there. I think that might be about it for me. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, you don't want to see your polyfill poking through. So, again, we need to leave a 20-inch tail. I'm just popping my cupcake out the way for a moment. I'm going to measure 20 inches. And this time to close up, we work from the inside to out anti-clockwise, because this is going to pull up really easily. So find that last stitch. Now what I do, I just put my thumb through there for a moment, just so that when I pull through, I don't pull that stitch out by mistake. You'll be able to let it go in a sec. Okay, so now I'm just working. So find your stitches from the inside out. Okay, don't pull too tightly just yet. I'm going to let that go now. And find those stitches, because your cupcake's just curled in a little bit, inside to out. Okay, inside, that's me knocking the video stand, to out. Okay, inside to out. These are the quickest things. Like, I think the round cushions are quick, but these are even quicker, to be honest. The quickest things to make. They make super cute presents. Okay, keep pulling. You're not going to run out of yarn. Do not panic. A few more. Inside to out. Inside to out. This is my last one. No, two more. Okay, so this is the nifty bit. Slowly, just pull, just draw. This is just going to close up. Just draw. I love this. Just draw it up. Okay, so it's closed up. There's your cupcake. How cute. Oh, I've ended up with yellow. I might make a yellow little cherry. So I'm laughing because I just think these are just really, really, really cute. So all you would do from here is put your cherry on top. So you would do a knot. I'm just in my head thinking what colour cherry, and I've gotten, because I've ended up with some yellow, I'm actually thinking of using the yellow. So if you wanted to go back and use the colour of your base, what you would do here is do a knot. So I'm going to do that. You would do a knot as close as you can, and then just pop your yarn through, just poke it through anywhere, and then get some yarn. You would make some knots in your yarn, like 3 knots in the middle of the yarn, and just pop your cherry through. But like I said, because I've ended up with yellow, which I didn't expect, I want my cherry to be yellow. So I'm just going to try and do a couple of more knots in the same place, just so that my cherry is a little bit bigger, if that makes sense. I'll come back to the cherry with the other colour in a minute and explain to you, if I didn't end up with the lemon, what I would have done. So I might do one more. Let's do a big cherry. I didn't expect that to happen, so okay. I kind of like that. I kind of think that's cute. Because I've got a fair bit of yarn, I'll just do a knot in the end. It won't come out. I just do a knot in the end, and I know that it will save fraying and everything, but trust me, once it's tucked in there, it's definitely not coming out. And I'm just going to tuck the rest of that yarn in. And there's mine. Oh, I like that. Okay, Diane, who wanted to see variegated. in the cupcake. There it is. I think that's really, really cute. I actually don't mind the honeycomb as the variegated. Okay, let me get a bit of yarn and I'll explain to you. If I had wanted my chocolate cherry, which is what I was planning on doing, you would just do that one knot, poke that rest of that yarn in. Then you would just get some of your yarn. You would cut off, 12 inches, okay? And what you would do in the middle of the 12 inches is do 1, 2, 3 knots, okay? Or 4 knots, okay, to make yourself a big cherry. Then you get your cupcake. I'm just going to sort of do it here to explain to you. Then with the 2 bits of yarn, you can just pull it through any stitch in the middle, tie it off, poke through the ends, and then your cherry's sitting out the top. So I hope that makes sense. If anybody's having any trouble with me explaining that cherry and what you would do if you were using a different colour, just shoot me a message, email me, ring me. Happy to explain that again. So there is our giant princess cupcake, which in all honesty, you can whip them up in 30 minutes. So I think that's really super cute. I'm really happy with the little variegated. I think it looks awesome. And I hope you enjoyed that. And drop me a line if you've got any comments and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye now. Hi everyone, I'm just jumping on here because I replayed the video and just the last few minutes I just realised that you didn't get a proper look at your cupcake. So I'm just sort of trying to show you what cupcake looks like rather than just the top view. So there's our chocolate brown and our honeycomb cupcake. And then I quickly just made this one up as well, which is yellow. Unfortunately, this variegated colour I can't get at the moment. I'm hoping it will come back in because it is really lovely. But I just made this up with some yarn that I've got left over. So there's another one. There's our 2 cupcakes. They are really, really super cute. I'm sorry I went out of screen. Hopefully everybody was still okay with following what was happening. If you're not, give me a call. Okay, thanks.